Yes, perfect. So, first of all, welcome to this new enrollment. Now, this could already be your 5th enrollment, then I would say welcome back. If this is your first enrollment though, then welcome to the Money Making team. Very happy to have you here. Very grateful to have you on board right now. And you're going to love it. I truly believe that. And for the people that have been here for a longer period of time already and have watched previous enrollments, then again, I need you to understand that this next enrollment will again be fully value packed. You will learn a lot of things most likely. But if you already have a training plan, then I need you to add on to that. So add on to the growth of that learning curve that we've already started. If you throw away the full training plan that you've already established, etc., then that we start all over with the learning curve. That's not what we want to do. So that is very important to understand as well, that if you've already watched past enrollments, then I need you to understand that it doesn't benefit you if you now throw everything away and you start all over again. That is very important to understand as well. But it can clear up some confusion, for example. So that is also very important. Now, we have established certain house rules right here, and this is very important to understand. If you've already watched the intro video of the mentorship itself, so that is the video that's at the top of the section in WAP, then right there, we go over certain philosophies, etc., what we think about in the mentorship and what we stand for, etc. Those things add on to the house rules that we have here. So if you've not watched that video just yet, then I would highly advise to watch that video. And then this video will make a lot more sense. The house rules will make a lot more sense. Then next thing is that these house rules, I don't want to force you to do anything. And that is never my intention. I never want you to feel forced to do anything. That's never my intention. I'm just here to help you. And these rules are here to benefit you. They are for your own benefit. So that is extremely important to acknowledge, because I'm not here to force you to do anything. There's nothing sneaky, nothing hidden. No, I'm just here to help you. And these rules help you to succeed. Leads me to the next point. These rules are based on my experience to getting to a profitable stage. And from the past enrollments, what I've learned from them is these rules as well. So these rules are based on my experience and based on my experience as a teacher, as a mentor, on what I've seen in students that get payouts, they get a funded certificate, etc. So they are based on that. So they're not based on thin air. So that is very important to understand. So people that have done it before you, they succeeded because they stuck to these rules. That is very important. Now, the first rule being, we don't incorporate other trading concepts that aren't mentioned in this mentorship. Now, again, this might seem very harsh, but I'm just very straight to the point, and I need you to understand these rules. And I'm not trying to be harsh, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I just need to get these rules out there. Because if you understand these rules, it's going to make the learning progress very smooth and a lot easier for us to actually succeed. So the reason why we don't incorporate other trading concepts that aren't mentioned in this mentorship is because every trading concept that you can think of and that you've probably heard of is already inside the mentorship. Meaning that every concept is, again, in the trading concept that we use already, but we don't pay attention to it. So for example, let's take the Power 3, for example, but this is with any trading concept, literally any trading concept that you can think of. Power 3 is already in our trading plan, is already in our trading strategy, already in the trading concepts that we use. We're just not paying attention to it. And that is very important, because if you now add Power 3 all of a sudden, then you are paying double attention to the same exact thing, which is, of course, your focus, your attention, your energy, your brain points, your brain capacity gets taken away, which is not something we would want to do, right? So that is very important. That first rule will make a lot more sense as well later on in the mentorship, because then you truly see how the different concepts are already incorporated into it and why we also do it. There's a very specific reason that we mention later on as well on why we actually do that and what led me to doing this as well. Because I need you to understand that I've been on the same path as you. And at least I like to think that, as in, I have also studied every concept in the book, literally every concept, which led me to understanding every concept, which led me to making a trading plan, a trading strategy, and certain trading concepts that I'm going to teach you here. And every concept is already involved in those trading concepts, in the trading plan that I have, because I understand every trading concept. That is very important. So yes, I understand the power of 3. Yes, I understand quality theory. Yes, I understand 90-minute cycles. Yes, I have studied every single one of them. Do we need to pay attention to it? No, because I've done it before you. I've already been there. I've done that. I already incorporated it into the trading plan. We just don't need to pay attention to it. So if I don't teach it, then please don't get involved in any of that. Very important. Now, excuse me, leads me to the next point, is that we listen to one mentor, and that adds on, that goes hand in hand with the first rule, of course. The reason why is, again, I don't want you to feel forced on, and there's nothing sneaky behind it or anything. It's just truly, from my experience and what I've seen in other students, again, is that once you listen to one mentor, you will truly excel, because his mind or her mind, from the mentor's mind, will be instilled, his beliefs, her beliefs, into you. And that is very important. So you will truly understand the way someone thinks, the way your mentor thinks. So if you have another mentor telling you a different opinion from what I'm telling you, for example, then that's going to only add to the confusion. It's going to be detrimental to analysis paralysis. So where you have a lot of things on your chart and you're not sure what to use. So that's not going to work. And I've been there. I've done that again. So it's extremely important. And again, why 1 and 2, why they are so important and why I've added them there is as well because I've seen students that came into the money making team that did the exact opposite of what I mentioned here. They incorporated other trading concepts that aren't mentioned in this mentorship. They didn't listen to one mentor, so they were all over the place. That led them to then activate that shiny object syndrome again, because another mentor will likely tell you a different concept as well. So that leads to, again, point 1 that we made. And that leads to you being in an endless cycle where it's very difficult to get out. So again, that action or that step of not sticking to these house rules, that will have a consequence. And that consequence is likely you not succeeding. And that's not what we want, right? I want you to succeed and I want to help you succeed. So that can only be done by sticking to these rules. It's very important. Now, that is why, again, we listen to one mentor. Very important. Then the next thing is, number 3, is we make case studies and don't just binge watch the videos. Now, this again is just understanding the philosophy of this mentorship, because every mentorship in the world, every community in the world, and I try to prevent that, but of course I have to make this rule to sort of prevent that even more, is that every mentorship in the world is people telling you their view on the market. So it's just people telling you what's in their mind, which means that if you like concepts, but you will understanding my mind will not truly benefit you until you make case studies and you see how the concepts make sense in your own mind. So we will likely get to the same draw liquidity, to the same pair to trade, to the same entry pattern, but potentially the way we get there is a little bit different. So that can only be achieved, your unique trading plan, by making case studies and by understanding what I'm trying to tell you, by viewing your own chart. That is very important as well to understand. So that leads me to the next point, which is number 4. We understand that it takes time. It took me a lot of failing and trying to get to this stage. I only achieved it once I was sticking to the same thing over and over, which is, again, all these things together, right? It's not incorporating a new concept or anything. The shiny object syndrome that we talk about, it's not doing that. Then it's also not listening to all the other mentors and being all over the place, which is also why I would advise, and it's for your own benefit again, on deleting social media, deleting other mentors, etc., their opinion. And it's not that their opinion is wrong. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. It's just that it can only lead to confusion. It can only be detrimental. There's nothing really beneficial in that. It's very important. Now, then as well, we understand that it takes time. So this 1 month enrollment, again, yes, you can probably understand the basics of what I'm teaching here very well. But will you be fully profitable after this first month? Well, I've seen it. People came in here, they got funded after the first enrollment month. And again, that's insane. That's crazy. But don't have that expectation, because that is not the average. The average, and again, It's an average, so it can also take longer than that. The average takes about 6 months before they come back to me with a funded certificate, with a payout, etc. So understand that as well, that it takes time. It takes a lot of time. So people that are here for 2 months or 3 months and they still don't really seem to understand it, then I think you're ignoring the fact that it took me a couple of years, and a couple of years of studying full time, doing nothing else. I was only trading, only behind my monitor, behind my trading view chart. That's the only thing I did. So for you to think you understand, that you will understand everything perfectly and you understand my mind within 1 month, well, that's not going to happen. And again, that is just trying to get your expectations right, because that is going to pay off in the long term as well. Then it can only get better from there. If we have the expectation you will understand everything within the first month, then it can only fail. It can only disappoint you. So that is very important as well. So having no expectation, whatever time it takes, perfectly fine with it. I have nothing else to do. So whatever time it takes, I'm perfectly fine with it. As long as you understand that whatever time it takes, if you now listen to another mentor, you start incorporating new concepts, other concepts that aren't mentioned in this mentorship, what happens? The learning curve starts all the way back at the beginning. So you start all over again. So if you have done 1 year and you've done 1 year of listening to a certain mentor, and all of a sudden you now start listening to another mentor because after the first year you were like, well, I'm getting close, but I want more, then you did not make 1 year of progress. You threw 1 year away. And that is extremely important to understand. I was profitable with my first trading plan that I learned in the first 3 months of my trading. I was profitable with it. Those 3 months got all thrown in the trash because I wanted more. Because I wanted more RR. I want a higher win rate. And that is extremely important. So I didn't understand that it took time. I didn't understand that I needed to listen to one mentor. I didn't understand that shiny object syndrome of incorporating other concepts, etc. Very important to understand. So please, with time, you can't fail. That is important. So all these rules that are made right there, leads me to point 5. These rules are there to help you. These rules are to help you. If these rules can't be followed, it likely won't work. There's a very small chance of this working. That is very important. And every single student that has done incredibly well has stuck to these rules, has done these exact steps, and then they get the payout, then they get the funded certificate, then they get everything they desire. And that is very important. That it requires not only certain trading concepts, and it's not all about trading concepts, it's a lot more than that. It goes very deep on achieving in trading. And yeah, that's very important. I can't stress this enough. Now, I hope this is understood. And again, don't feel forced to do anything, but do know that your actions and your choices have consequences. So the next thing I want to touch on a little bit for the new enrollment members. So if this is your first enrollment, then again, it's not really relevant to you. But for the past enrollment members, so if you've already had an enrollment, then we have changed the first phase, which it was before. It was the higher time frame analyst phase. Now we have changed that phase to just analyst phase. Again, we still incorporate the higher time frame, but I just wanted to call it the analyst phase right here. I don't want to label it as only being the higher time frame, because it's not. It's also just the 1 hour time frame, the 15-minute, etc. That's very important to understand. So the phases have changed from analyst phase is the first one. Then the second one is execution. And the third one is psychology. The fourth one is MMP. MMP standing for money making pyramid, where we put everything together. Inside those steps, again, we have everything you need to know. Then after the fact, after the enrollment, we have sort of a feedback loop where if there's not something, or there's something you felt like was missing inside the enrollment, or is not really clear, then feel free to reach out to me after the fact, of course. With every video you watch, everything will make more sense. So if you have a question about execution after the first analyst video, then of course, we have not even touched on that just yet. So that is very important to understand as well. And next to that is that we have a fully value-packed enrollment coming up. as in it's going to be even more intense. And with intense, I mean it's going to require a lot of your focus, energy, and attention because we have more videos in this next enrollment, which also means that please only watch the videos right there that are on the current day, nothing else. Past enrollments, watch them maybe in 2 months' time after this enrollment is done. But you don't need to watch it right now. You don't need to watch it right now. And I just want you to focus on every current day video. So the newest video that is out there, or if you join a little bit later, of course, then just wherever you are in your journey, just give every video 1 day time and potentially even longer, where you fully understand what I'm trying to tell you in that particular video. And then the next video will make a lot more sense. And the next video will make a lot more sense. And then all that adds onto each other as well. That's very important. Now, then the next thing as well is that, and it's quite a few things, but I just want to get you prepared right here to fully understand with no confusion, etc., to have a very smooth month, which is very important. Then in the intro video, you saw me mention a Notion. Now, for this particular enrollment, you don't need that Notion. And again, for the case studies, you can of course use that Notion, but for this enrollment, I want to give you a little bit more freedom to see, all right, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the Notion, or do you prefer just taking notes on pen and paper? And the reason for that is as well because I've noticed that certain people, they are new to Notion. So if you're new to Notion and you have to learn new training concepts, then that of course can work, but that requires, again, that double focus, that double attention, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult, which is also, again, why that whole focus, that attention, that energy is very important here, because I want you to rest very well, because the information you're about to get is a lot. It's very valuable if you actually pay attention to it. And we can only pay attention to it if you are also healthy, if you are in a good state of mind. And that is all. The foundation right there is all very, very crucial as well. Now, other than that, it might seem right now like a huge pain in the ass, but don't worry, you will have a great time, and this is going to pay off in the long run. Don't worry at all. And eventually, you will do these things automatically, which is very important. And don't worry, this will all come natural to you. I truly believe that. Now, next thing is, we are starting with the analyst phase, and I'm very excited for that. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your attention as well, which is very valuable. Then we are going to get started. All right, perfect. Thank you.